Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you the story about how myths and nature intertwine in Vietnam. There's a house in Vietnam, not grand, not famous, but unforgettable. Its wooden beams are worn smooth by time, its tiled roof leans slightly, and its doors creak even when there is no wind. The neighbors know it well, though none live there. They pass by quietly. Children are told not to point, not to stare. Because that house, they say, still has its mistress. And she never left. Long ago, during the days of French Indochina, the house belonged to a wealthy woman known simply as Madame Hoi An. She was elegant, sharp-witted, and always seen wearing a white silk áo dai that shimmered like water in the sun. Her family owned trading boats and spice warehouses. She never married, though many tried. The townspeople said she was waiting for something or someone, though no one knew what. Her home became the heart of the street. She hosted lantern festivals, poetry readings, and meals that lingered long into the night. But as years passed, her family fortunes dwindled. Wars came. Trade routes shifted. Loved ones vanished. One by one, the servants left. The rooms darkened, and the sounds of life inside faded, until only Madame Hoi An remained. And then, one day, she too was gone. The doors closed, the windows were shuttered. For weeks, the house stood silent, still. People assumed she had finally moved away. But then came the sounds, soft footsteps at night, the rustling of a silk dress, the scent of jasmine drifting from under the locked front door. Travelers who tried to stay the night spoke of dreams so vivid they felt real. One man claimed he awoke to find a cup of hot tea beside him on the table, still steaming. Another swore he saw a figure in white watching him from the upstairs balcony. They say Madame Hoi An never truly left, that her spirit lingers, not in sadness, but in habit, as if she still tends to her garden, lights incense in the evening, and waits for a guest who never comes. A quiet presence, never angry, never harmful, but undeniably there. Over time, the house became known as the House with Spirits. Not haunted, exactly, just inhabited. People began leaving offerings on the doorstep. Fresh flowers, sticks of incense, small dishes of sweet rice. Local vendors walking home at dusk would bow slightly as they passed. Children whispered stories of the ghost lady in white, who appears only to the kind and the lonely. No one dares to restore the house. Every time someone tries, something happens. A wall collapses. A worker falls ill. Tools disappear. Some believe Madame Hoi An is protecting it, keeping it just as she left it. A frozen moment in time. Today, the house still stands, half hidden behind a curtain of bougainvillea. Tourists pass by without knowing. But if you stop, if you're quiet, and the sun is just beginning to set, you might feel something shift in the air. The soft rustle of silk, the faint scent of jasmine, a presence, watching, waiting. The mistress never left. She simply stayed where she belonged. They say Hoi An is more than a city. It is a body, and under its ancient streets, beneath the lantern light and weathered rooftops, lies something vast and sleeping. A dragon, not of fire, but of earth. In the old days, when the town was just beginning to take form along the banks of the Thuban River, the elders spoke of a mighty creature that stretched beneath the land. Not a monster, but a guardian. A dragon whose body formed the very shape of the earth. Its head at the river's edge, its spine curving through the town center, and its tail fading into the distant rice fields. The people of Hoi An believed this dragon was the spirit of the land itself. Its breath fed the soil. Its stillness brought peace. Its movement, though rare, could bring floods, cracks in buildings, or a change in the river's course. To live in harmony with the dragon was to live in harmony with nature. When they built their homes, the people followed the lines of the dragon's back. Streets flowed like veins along his body, never cutting across too sharply. Roofs sloped gently to allow the dragon's breath to rise. Temples were built at key points to calm and honor the energy flowing through the earth. The Japanese covered bridge, the most iconic structure in town, was said to be placed like a pin at the dragon's most restless point, to anchor him, to soothe him. For centuries, the town flourished. Traders came from China, Japan, India, and Europe, drawn to its calm harbor and its strategic position along the spice routes. The dragon slept peacefully beneath the cobblestones, and the people kept their promise of respect. But time brings change, and with modernity came forgetfulness. As the old ways were pushed aside for concrete, metal, and quick expansion, the land shifted. New buildings rose without regard to the ancient flow of energy. Roads were cut through the dragon's back. Shrines were removed. Altars left untended. Then, the dragon stirred. Floods began to strike harder and more frequently. Foundations buckled. The river grew unpredictable. Elders shook their heads, not in superstition, but in sorrow. The dragon, they said, had been disturbed, its balance broken. It was only when Hoi An was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site that the city began to remember. Artisans returned to traditional methods. Homes were restored with the same wood and structure used centuries before. The people began to honor the land again, not just for tourism, but for the spirit they knew lived within it. Small altars reappeared in homes, dedicated to the earth god and the dragon spirit. Lanterns returned to the streets, not just for light, but to remind people of the dragon's watchful eyes. If you walk through the city now, and the night is quiet, you may feel it too. In the way the air moves, in the hush of the river, in the silence that falls between footsteps on moss-covered stones. The dragon sleeps once more, not because he was tamed, but because he was heard. Hoi An survives not through force, but through respect, through harmony. Its story is a lesson written in tiles and timber, that we are never separate from the land beneath us, that what we build must grow with it, not against it, and that under even the quietest cities, something ancient still breathes.